Grow up and vote for Trump. Why 2020 is your last chance to become an adult. That is the very enticing title from our friend Eddie Scarry over at the Washington Examiner. His book is out now. You can get a copy of it. Grow up and vote for Trump. Eddie, my man, good to have you on. Why should folks grow up and vote for Trump?
Well, it's actually very simple. I think that there's a lot of undecided voters out there. I know a lot, I'm sure you've talked to a lot, who say, I don't like the way Trump talks. I don't like the way he tweets. I don't like the way, he's not someone I would invite to my Thanksgiving dinner. And on the other hand, but I'm really scared of this Black Lives Matter rioting. I'm not sure that Joe Biden's the guy for the economy. I don't know that anyone else has the answer on the coronavirus. Well, if those are the stakes, and they're very high. So whereas Trump maybe isn't someone you want to set your children on his lap, he is the person who has done well with the economy. He is the wall standing between normal people and the Black Lives Matter mob. So it's time to just kind of suck it up, be a responsible adult. Being a responsible adult often means making the choice that is hard or that maybe you don't want to make. But growing up isn't fun, but it definitely means voting for Donald Trump.
And when you say that you know people that haven't decided yet, I'll be honest with you, I don't know anyone who hasn't decided yet. I know people that are the idea of voting for, and I'm talking about in personal life, not people that I know in the media or that write in and such. But everyone I know is either horrified at the idea of Trump getting reelected or just completely outraged at the notion of Trump not getting reelected. So when you talk to independents or people that are undecideds, and I'm sure you must have done some of that for the book, what are they undecided on at this point? I always kind of wonder about that. I mean, are they just looking at where the economy is and going to decide on that? Or is it just, I worry that it's the last news broadcast they see that determines whether or not some of these people are going to vote in Ohio and Florida and Pennsylvania for Trump or Biden.
Right. I mean, and I can tell you there are two women, young women. One's engaged. The other one is married with children. One lives in Arizona, one lives in Indiana, and I talk to them all the time. Neither of them are completely settled. When we have these conversations, I always kind of view it as an exercise just to inform my own thinking on this and what people are thinking outside of DC. And yet, it is kind of the same thing that comes up over again. It's a distaste, a personal distaste for Trump. You kind of look at it as the opposite of what the deal was with President Obama. A lot of people personally liked him, but they didn't like his policies. You see the opposite going with Trump. They do not like him personally, but they are in favor of his policies if they don't necessarily associate the two. But that's why I write the book. It's a matter of drawing that link, getting it through people that, again, you may not like him personally. You may not want to sit next to him at dinner. But again, growing up isn't always easy, but it means voting for Trump. It means voting for the guy who's saying we've had enough of this vandalism, the looting, the rioting. Because I'm telling you, the other side is basically the base now is it behaves as children. They say we're going to make as much noise. We're going to terrify you. We're going to just make it so unbearable for you every day, your everyday life, that you're just going to want to give us the power. And that's what children do. They whine until they get what they want. But it's time to be the adult in the room and say we're not going to do that. That's not how we're going to do things in this country. And Donald Trump is the person. He's the only alternative to seeing that happen.
Do you get into his response to COVID as part of the pitch of grow up and vote for Trump, or do you really focus just on BLM and the law and order issue?
No, there's an entire chapter. I think the first chapter really is about the COVID response. And my book is not exactly easy on the president. I am critical of the president. I don't think there's a single person out there, a reasonable person out there, who can say that the president, his administration has done a bang up job on the response to COVID. I think he made a lot of mistakes. And yet, now that we are where we are, do we want to go to the party of lockdowns? That's what Democrats are saying. That's what Joe Biden's saying, is I'll shut it down the second an expert tells me to. Well, the experts have said a lot of things, and they've turned out to be wrong in a lot of cases. They said masks did nothing. Now they save lives. They said everyone stay indoors. Now they're saying you stay indoors, we're going to see more infection. We're going to see more deaths. So there's been a lot of things that we shouldn't necessarily have looked to the experts for. So do we want to go forward? Working through the coronavirus, working through the pandemic should mean literally working through it. And that's what we're trying to do. And yet, Joe Biden, the AOCs of the Democratic Party, they're saying, you know what, give up your job, give up your life, give up any sense of what you believe to be normal. We'll give you a little check here and there to keep you, tide you over, but stay inside, and you're never going to go back to normal. They say that, by the way. They say we're never going back to normal. Normal is still an option, and normal, again, the only way we're going to get there is if we re-elect Donald Trump.
Oh, wait. So out of curiosity, Eddie, so you say that you think that Trump has made mistakes. And I think there are things that Trump has done that I did not want him to do, or that in retrospect look like they weren't the right move for the pandemic. But it seems to me that those things were the things that he was told to do by the experts that he's supposed to listen to, right? I mean, so this is where I think it's interesting, the Democrat criticism of Trump on this. In a sense, when we're relying on the CDC and the NIH to come up with policy, and we're told if you don't listen to them, you're reckless, and then we do listen to them, and I think Trump did at every stage. I cannot find, I don't know one thing where Trump didn't do what the experts in the government said that he was supposed to do, including extending the lockdowns. So I can't quibble with, yeah, there are things that I think that were done that were wrong, but it seems to me that the things that Trump, that he did that didn't work out the way they were supposed to, that were the wrong decision at the time, was when he was listening to the experts. Or do you see it differently?
No, I think about that a lot, and I think there's a lot of truth to it. I think where he made mistakes was when they eventually said to start wearing the mask. And from the beginning, I had believed before, when they were saying nobody wear masks, I thought there's no convincing me that these masks don't work at least a little bit. For him to make fun of Joe Biden for wearing one, for him to go to his rallies and say this is going to disappear overnight. There were a lot of situations like that where I thought these are not the right comments to be making about something that, even though, and I've been writing a lot about this at the Washington Examiner, the risk for most, by and large, for most people, particularly people under the age of 55, is very minimal. It's like infinitesimal. And yet still, zero. It is a risk. Right. It's right. It's still a risk. It's still a life. There are things that we should be looking at to be taken seriously, to be protecting certain people. So to be so cavalier, to brush it off as something that's going to disappear. We have 15 people dead. We're soon going to see the number drop to zero. I think, like you're saying, I think in a lot of ways he was following what the experts said. And yet there has also been strong indication by his own admission that
Fauci was saying in February that it was like no big deal. Right? So, I mean, I remember Fauci, don't worry about it. It's like, okay, well, now everyone's turning on trashing Trump. I'm much more concerned, and you raise this point about what Democrats are going to do. There had been this theory, this concern on the right that, as soon as Biden wins, this all goes away. I think that's a total misread. I think if Biden wins, then they leverage this whole situation. Then they say everyone's got to wear their mask and everyone's got to mobilize the same way to fight climate change. And
exactly.
They use this moment of fear and political mobilization as a Democrat agenda tool.
Oh, sure. Exactly. I completely agree with you. I'm so glad there's somebody in a prominent position saying the exact same thing, because I thought the same thing. People say this is going to go away after the election because it's a political tool. No, it's going to be ramped up times 10. And don't think for one second that people like Andrew Cuomo don't enjoy being on TV, called an authority, called a leader. Certain scientists that go on CNN every day and predict the most dire things they can say they think they're the voice of reason, the sound expertise. They really, really enjoy that. They enjoy it a little bit too much. They enjoy the power, because there's a lot of power that comes with telling people to stay inside, live off of us, depend on us. We're going to be the ones who give you money. Don't worry about your business. Don't worry about what you've built your life saving up for. Don't worry about the dream you created for yourself. Count on us. There's a lot of intoxicating power there for the Democratic Party. There's a lot of people too comfortable with these lockdowns. So yes, I think I completely agree. I'm so glad you're saying it, because I hadn't heard anybody else say it, is that this is going to get a lot worse after the election if Joe Biden is elected.
Yeah, I'm trying to spread the word out. It's you, me, and Ann Coulter so far that have all been saying, "Hey guys, guess what? Known. It gets worse if Biden wins with the lockdowns." But everyone should check out Eddie's book, "Grow Up and Vote for Trump: Why 2020 is Your Last Chance to Become an Adult." Eddie Scarry, good luck with the book, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Buck.
Hey Team Buck, thank you so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you like this video, please click that little thumbs up button so then it will log as liked. And also, if you want to see more great content from The First, please click subscribe.